Justice Secretary Romualdez says he signed the Immigration Lookout Bulletin orders requested by the Independent Commission on Infrastructure against several lawmakers, contractors, and officials linked to anomalous infrastructure projects. Romualdez signed the request on his last day as Department of Justice Chief on Wednesday, October 8, before taking his oath as the newest ombudsman. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Immigration says it immediately implemented the close monitoring of the 33 individuals. Included in the ICI's request to the DOJ are former House Speaker Martin Romualdez, as well as Senators Cheese Escudero, Jinggoy Estrada, and Joel Villanueva. Former Senator Bong Revilla and Makati Mayor Nancy Binay are also named in the request. Several other personalities are also identified as subjects in the ICI's request dated October 8. According to the ICI, an initial investigation showed the subjects are key figures in the fact-finding process, making their involvement in the inquiry unavoidable. The ICI is currently conducting a series of hearings on its ongoing investigation into the alleged anomalous flood control projects. Testimonies during congressional hearings tagged several lawmakers to a scheme in which they allegedly received kickbacks from government infrastructure projects. Farm-to-market roads worth over 10 billion pesos were found to be extremely overpriced, with one project even costing more than 23 times the standard price set by the Department of Public Works and Highways. The Senate Finance Committee held on Wednesday, October 8, its hearing on the Department of Agriculture's proposed 176.7 billion peso budget. During the hearing, DA Chief Francisco T. Laurel Jr. says the DPWH set a 15,000 peso per meter standard cost for farm-to-market roads. Earlier, T. Laurel said this standard price could already be overpriced, as the cost per meter of farm-to-market roads could be as low as 10,000 pesos if 30% excess were trimmed. However, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian notes that many farm-to-market roads funded under the 2024 General Appropriations Act have far exceeded the 15,000 peso per meter standard amount. Gatchalian presents what he describes as extremely overpriced farm-to-market roads, with the ongoing road concreting in Barangay San Roque in Tacloban City topping the list. The 2024 General Appropriations Act allocated 100 million pesos for this project, which only has an actual length of 287 meters, putting its cost per meter at around 348,000 pesos, or more than 23 times the 15,000 peso DPWH standard price. The contractor for this project could not be found in the DPWH Civil Works Contracts database. Tio Laurel says such figures are shocking, but adds that this could be better asked of the DPWH, which is the project implementer.
Like for example, concreting of Barangay San Roque in Tacloban City, 348,000 per square meter. Per meter. Hindi lang to extremely overpriced, extremely overpriced, Secretary.
Based on sa nakikita ko na pinapakita nyo, Mr. Chair, medyo shocking. But I guess siguro magandang itanong dyan, Mr. Chair, is yung ating bagong Secretary ng DPWH na matulungan tayo na mahimay ito.
A firm co-founded by former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico's brother also handled projects listed among the extremely overpriced farm-to-market roads. The ongoing concreting of farm-to-market roads from Barangay Quitaco to Barangay San Roque in Daraga Albay is conducted by High Tone Construction and Development Corporation. This project had a 46 million peso budget under the General Appropriations Act. It has a length of only 370 meters, costing 124,000 pesos per meter, over 8 times the standard benchmark of 15,000 pesos.
Hindi nyo ba nadedetect na mayroong ganitong grabing overpricing? Kasi kung 15,000 nga, sa inyong opinion, is overpriced na, ito 348,000 per meter. Ito for me, obvious sign of corruption na ito eh.
Testimonies have revealed the alleged collusion between lawmakers, government officials, and contractors to embezzle billions of pesos from the country's coffers. Senator Erwin Tulfo is now the acting chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Panel. Senate President Sotto confirms this on Wednesday, October 8, following an hour-long caucus with a majority bloc. According to Sotto, Senators J.V. Ejercito, Risa Ontiveros, Pia Cayetano, Rafi Tulfo, and Kiko Pangilinan all declined to head the committee. Sotto earlier said that if none of the 5 senators accepted the offer of chairmanship, Senator Erwin would automatically be named, as it said. The Senate chief explains that the 5 declined because they want to focus on their committees.
In the meantime, Senator Erwin Tulfo being the vice chairman automatically becomes the chairman right now. So he is the acting chairman. And we all agreed that he's acting chairman. So I called him and I made sure that he accepted it, and he did accept it.
Sotto adds that they will still decide whether his post will remain permanent. For now, the Senate President says Tulfo accepted the post.
Tinanggap niya. Sabi lang niya, siya vice chairman. So sabi lang niya sa akin, acting muna ha.
Meanwhile, Sotto says committee hearings in the chamber will continue despite the Senate's scheduled session adjournment on Friday, October 10.
The Blue Ribbon is always alive. It's always alive. Eh. That's the only committee na may motu proprio powers. Eh. Okay. Now it doesn't mean that because nasa break o nasa out of town, it doesn't mean that the Senate's not working. The reason we have this break is so that the committee hearings continue. There will be continuous hearings of the different committees and even most especially the Committee on Finance.
Senator Ping Laxon resigned as Blue Ribbon panel head amid the ongoing probe into alleged anomalous flood control projects. In his resignation letter to Sotto, Laxon explained how some colleagues expressed disappointment with the direction of the committee hearings. However, Laxon said he had no political considerations in handling the committee hearings. Malacanang expresses support for the Iglesia ni Cristo's call for transparency in the Independent Commission for Infrastructure's ongoing probe into irregularities in government infrastructure projects. At a briefing on Wednesday, October 8, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro says President Bongbong Marcos also supports transparency in the probe. She says this is a position the President has consistently emphasized since the creation of the super body. However, she notes that it was up to the ICI to ensure this.
Ang Pangulo po sa lahat ng mga pagkakataon gusto may transparency. Sa lahat ng pag-iimbestiga, dapat may transparency, walang tinatago. Pero kung paano po ito gagawin ng ICI, kung paano po ito maisa sa publiko, kung paano po sila magiging transparent at hanggang saan, nasa ICI na po yan. But still, ang Pangulo po ay sinusulong din po ang transparency sa lahat ng pag-iimbestiga.
INC Executive Minister Eduardo Manalo earlier appealed for the ICI to be transparent not only with its findings but also with the process of its investigation. Manalo said the investigation should be open and witnessed by the public. ICI Executive Director Brian Keith Hosaka previously said the hearings of the Commission are not being live-streamed to avoid the trial by publicity. Additionally, the INC leader urged the Senate to continue its probe into the alleged anomalous flood control projects. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing originally set for Wednesday was postponed until further notice due to the unavailability of documents needed within a week.